It's an early, chilly morning at Anzac Cove Memorial. I've got the whole place to myself. Yesterday was New Year's Day, and so there were floods of people all over this when I went past, and I realised now they've come across from Kanakali, the city on the other side of the Dardanelles on the peninsula, on the ferry boat, and this is one of their destinations, just as a local tourist. And this is the rather severe memorial, and here's my guard dog, the Anzac Cove guard dog, having a sniff. And there's one of the, well, you can't see it, one of the cannons that would have held off the Navy. And this is the interior of the memorial, Anzac Cove Memorial, and so quite substantial. And this is the interior of the War Memorial at Anzac Cove, and this super graphic statue reminds me of the similar scale statuettes in New Zealand at their War Memorial. There's an absolutely brilliant exhibition of troops in the trenches, very similar to this. There is specifically saying the Battle of 1915 of Kanakali. That's what they called it. Their Gallipoli, yes, was their Kanakali, our Gallipoli. And it's from the Gallipoli Peninsula that our Gallipoli is named. There's some of the Turkish diggers and the generals. Very emotive plaster of Paris or cast of some such, or carving in the interior of the War Memorial of Anzac Cove, and this shows the sinking of a battleship in the Dardanelles, and that Churchill had ordered the Navy to attempt to travel up the passage to Istanbul, and like thousands of years before them, the Turks dispatched the navies and held them off. And over the other side of the peninsula, the Gallipoli Anzacs were dug in trying to get across the land barrier, and that proved futile as well, and hence the whole tradition was the Turks celebrate the victory, and the Allied forces had to retreat, and so 1915 was very significant in terms of the outcome of this region, and as a result, the Turkey was essentially liberated from any rule for the future, and that's how Ataturk became president of the nation and moved them forward into a Western approach that they carry on today with Erdogan. We've moved down 2 floors in this quite substantial war memorial, and here we are on the lowest floor, and it's just beautifully laid out and presented with these statuettes, old military costumes, and vivid sort of reenactments. All about 1915. And the Anzac Cove War Memorial and museum with an excellent gate guard there, a biplane that would have dropped the shells on the trenches. And it really is a very special museum inside and out. Very fitting, just pretty much perfect for the memory of the Turkish and the Anzac tradition. And the gate guard for the Anzac Cove Kanakali Museum, the War Memorial. It's a forbidden sky and a raven at Anzac Cove. This is a Lone Pine Memorial. Their name liveth forevermore. And there's the view along the coast, and where the British battleships came up the Aegean, and just a little bit further to the right is Anzac Cove, and this is at the top of the peak of the hill. This is the Lone Pine Memorial where the Anzacs are buried. We will remember them. This is the Anzac Lone Pine Monument Memorial burial ground, and possibly at least 300 graves here. There's the cove in the distance there, and from what I've now know, there's over 130,000 casualties, deaths, and of them a third were the Anzacs and the British, French and the Indian. But it's the Turks that lost the other 2/3, and they call it the Battle of Çanakkale because they did. They literally saved Çanakkale, which was the passage to Turkey and the Dardanelles, protector of the Dardanelles Strait. So that's why it's celebrated by the Turks. And Ataturk was the general that completely confounded the British generals. He had local knowledge, he knew where they would quite possibly be landing. He had very good situational awareness from reporting. They even had telephones in 1915 informing them of where the battleships were and when they were coming ashore at the 4:30 a.m, 6:30 a.m. on April 25th, 1915. Here at one of the highest points above Anzac Cove, and this quite fitting set of statues obviously depicts possibly Mustafa Kemal, who became Ataturk, the president of Turkey, because of his actions in this war, outwitting the entirety of the British government and generals of the army by being aware of this high ground, being aware of the significance of crossing the Dardanelles. And that's the, as you can see, the sort of terrain the Anzacs had to face coming up here under machine gun fire, mortars, shelling from huge cannons, and as you can see, the Turkish generals pushed them back and made them dig in, and There's one statement one of the generals, the Turkish generals, had said to his men was that you are not to attack, I order you to die in defence of Turkey. As I said, Anzac Cove is where the troops came ashore and eventually and made good headway into the Dardanelles Peninsula, which is we're one of the highest points here, and this is essentially around about where they would have got to, because if we just have a look up here, is where they actually could they managed to get a glimpse of the Dardanelles Passage, and there it is down there. That's down towards where the ferry boat came in. So this is the extent of their success, and if you you then realise that the Turks and Ataturk, the brilliant general, managed to retain the higher ground, and that's what it's pretty much all about in war. And finally, here above Anzac Cove and the headlands that the General Mustafa Kemal became Ataturk held, this was his post. He set up post here, and it was you can see he's got just over that direction is the Dardanelles Passage, so he had complete situational awareness, as I said, as a genius strategist to combat the Anzacs. And this statement that he makes, I thought was quite poignant. All the soldiers fighting with me here at this battle should definitely be aware of the fact that in order to fully carry out our duty of honesty bestowed on us, there shall not be a single step of retreat. I remind you all that looking for sleep and rest would cause deprivation of not only our sleep and rest, but of the whole nation forever. So this is one of my last few days in Turkey from my amazing Odyssey and Iliad, and it's very fitting to be at Mustafa Kemal General Ataturk's memorial high above Anzac Cove, and this is my beaut little MG, SUV that got me all around, right from Istanbul to Ankara to Sanliurfa, then across the Mediterranean coast. And there in the background is the Dardanelles that the Anzacs were attempting to get to, but had to retreat and from Anzac Cove in the end. And it's just been an amazing journey along the Mediterranean coast to Kash and seeing Castellarizo, and then across to Marmaris and Bodrum, then the ancient cities all the way, Ephesus, up through to the massive city of Izmir, and then Pergamon, the mountaintops of Pergamon, and Troy, and now completing an absolute dream of mine, a mission, was to get to Gallipoli and Anzac Cove one day, and I have. So I'm signing off. Happy New Year. All the best to you all.